Good morning. Today's class is about the concepts of adhesion and bonding. To begin with an introduction, the American Society for Testing in Materials defines adhesion as the state in which two surfaces are held together by interfacial forces which may consist of valence forces or interlocking forces or both. Adhesive is nothing but a material or the film which is used to cause adhesion. Adherent is nothing but a material to which an adhesive is applied. Bonding of resins to tooth structure occurs by four mechanisms. 1. Mechanical. 2. Diffusion. 3. Absorption. 4. A combination of the above three mechanisms. Mechanical, it is nothing but a penetration of resin and the formation of resin tags within the tooth surface. Diffusion, precipitation of substances on the tooth surface to which resin monomers bond mechanically or chemically. Absorption, it is a chemical bonding to the inorganic component or organic components. A combination of the above three mechanisms. Fundamental principles of adhesions involves two phases. The first phase involves removal of calcium phosphates by which microporosities are exposed at both the enamel and dentin. Second phase involves hybridization phase, which involves infiltration and subsequent in situ polymerization of resin within the created surface microporosities. This results in micromechanical interlocking that is primarily based on mechanisms of diffusion. Adhesion in dentistry. The adhesion in dentistry was first introduced by Buonocore in the year 1955, who first described a technique for bonding the acrylic materials to enamel using phosphoric acid. Advantages of bonded restorations are bonding techniques allow more conservative tooth preparation, less reliance on macromechanical retention, and less removal of unsupported enamel. Most restorative materials fail to adhere to enamel and dentin, thereby increases the chance of micro leakage at the restoration and tooth interface. Disadvantages of bonding are polymerization shrinkage. Hence, an ideal adhesive should be developed to resist the stresses of resin shrinkage. Requirements for adhesion. Surface tension of an adhesive must be lower than the surface energy of enamel and dentin for a good wetting to occur in order to produce a good bonding. Surfaces to be joined must be clean and should be free from saliva or other blood contamination. It is the angle of wetting that decides a good bonding agent. Angle of wetting is nothing but angle formed between an adhesive and an adherent. When an adhesive forms less than 90 degree, then it means the adhesive has got low viscosity. It can easily flow into the irregularities of the tooth structure. That is the good wetting phenomenon. If the adhesive is viscous in nature, then it may cause an angle with the adherent, which is almost equal to 90 degree. It means it causes only partial wetting on the surface. If the adhesive is very viscous in nature, then it will not flow onto the surface of adherent and the angle formed by the adhesive is greater than 90 degree. That is, obtuse angle is formed, which indicates non-wetting of an adhesive. Let us know about the composition of enamel and dentin by means of weight and by volume. By weight, enamel comprises of 95% of inorganic portion, 4% of water, and 1% of organic portion. By volume, enamel comprises of 86% of inorganic portion, 12 portions of water, and 2% by organic portion. Dentin, it comprises of 70% of inorganic portion, 12% of organic, and 18% of water. By volume, it contains 50% of inorganic portion, 25% of organic, and 25% by weight. This shows that dentin has got more content of water than the enamel. Hence, difficulty with the dentin is found to be questionable. Composition of enamel and dentin. Enamel is primarily comprised of hydroxyapatite crystals, whereas dentin contains both hydroxyapatite crystals and collagen fibers. Failures of adhesive joints occurs in 3 locations. 1, it is a cohesive failure within the substrate. 2, cohesive failure within the adhesive. 3, failure at the interface of substrate and the adhesive. Therefore, a solid understanding of biological, chemical, and physical aspects of these adhesives is very essential for their proper use in dentistry. Coming to enamel adhesion. Acid etching of enamel transforms the smooth enamel into an irregular surface, and thereby it increases its surface energy. When a fluid resin-based adhesive is applied to the irregular etched surface, the resin penetrates into the surface by capillary action. Monomers in the material polymerize and the material gets interlocked with the enamel surface. Hence, bond strength of enamel is in the range of 15 to 25 megapascal. Coming to the dentin adhesion. Adhesion to dentin remains difficult. The tubular structures of dentin provides a variable area for the fluid to traverse to the surface and affects bonding. On acid etching, dentin smear layer is removed. It exposes the collagen, increases the dentin permeability. Smear layer, it is defined as any debris calcific in nature produced by the reduction or the instrumentation of dentin, enamel, or remains as a contaminant that precludes interaction of resin with the underlying pure tooth tissue. It is 0.5 to 2 microns thick. What are the requirements of a dentin bonding agent? The dentin bonding agent should be able to provide an optimal bond strength of 70 megapascal to 20 megapascal. The adhesive should be able to withstand the stresses caused by the polymerization shrinkage. It should be biocompatible. It should be able to prevent micro leakage by reduced gap formation between the tooth structure and the restorative material. Prevents the recurrent caries and marginal stain. Should be able to easily use. Have a reasonable shelf life period. The components of dentin adhesive systems are conditioner or etchant, primer, dentin bonding agents or adhesives. Conditioners. The conditioning of dentin is defined as any alteration of the dentinal surface done after cutting for the removal of the dentinal debris, which is termed as a smear layer. Conditioning of dentin is carried out with a mild acid, whereas the conditioning is not involved in the process of decalcification. It is just the removal of a surface debris. Whereas an etchant is nothing but it is a usage of a strong acid to cause decalcification of the tooth surface and thereby creating a microporosities where the adhesive flows into the microporosities and creates micromechanical retention. The effects of conditioners on the dentin are: it causes decrease in the thickness of the smear layer, open the tubule for the better penetration of an adhesive and a primer. Example of conditioners are 2.5% of malic acid, 10% of citric acid, 17% of EDTA, 1% of nitric acid, and 37% of phosphoric acid. Etchant. 37% phosphoric acid is the most commonly used etchant. The etching time ideally is found to be between 15 to 20 seconds. The etchant is available in both liquid and gel forms. Gel form is widely used to have a better control and application. Application of an etchant of 50% of phosphoric acid for 60 seconds results in the formation of a byproduct called monocalcium phosphate monohydrate precipitate. Concentration less than 27 may create a byproduct dicalcium phosphate dihydrate precipitate. Primers. Primers are defined as chemicals capable of improving the flow of an adherence. They are hydrophilic monomers carried in a solvent. When an etchant is applied to the dentin surface, it either dissolves, modifies the smear layer, and partially demineralizes the dentin surface. This creates a space within the collagen network by dissolving the apatite crystals and create a dentin surface with low surface energy, thereby turning the dentin surfaces difficult to wet with the normal bonding resins. Hence, to allow the flowability of the resin, primer is necessary. Examples of primers are HEMA, 4-meta, and BPDM. HEMA is nothing but hydroxyethyl methacrylate. 4-meta is 4-methacryloxyethyl trimetallic anhydride, and BPDM is bisphenol dimethacrylate. Coming to the bonding agents, it includes monomers that are mostly hydrophobic, such as bis-TMA, and also contain small amount of hydrophilic monomers such as HEMA. The concepts of using dentin bonding agents are diffusion and impregnation of monomer into the subsurface of pre-treated dentin, which is getting co-polymerized with primer molecule, resulting in the formation of resin impregnated layer or hybrid layer. Chemical union with the organic, inorganic, and both the components takes place with the help of dentin bonding agent. Coming to the classification of dentin bonding agents, it contains many generations from first to 7th generation. Modifications have been made from generations to generations, thereby improving the property of the dentin bonding agent. The first generation adhesive is, it made use of glycophosphoric acid dimethacrylate, cyanoacrylates, N-phenyl glycine glyceryl methacrylate. Mechanism of action is chelation of calcium ions on the tooth surface. Disadvantages: bond strength about 2 to 3 megapascals, hydraulic instability, and marginal leakage. Second generation adhesive is nothing but it made use of Foster ester material. Mechanism of action is polar interaction between negatively charged phosphate groups in the resin and the positively charged calcium ion in the smear layer. Disadvantages: it also resulted in the low bond strength of about 1 to 5 megapascal, incomplete penetration of adhesive due to low contact angle, and the presence of the smear layer. Examples are Clearfill and Scotch-Mont. Coming to the third generation dentin adhesive, due to the hindrance of smear layer to exhibit complete bonding, the third generation dentin adhesives were introduced, where they introduced the concept of modification or the removal of the smear layer. Hence, in the third generation dentin adhesive, an additional step called as a conditioning step is involved. Bond strength of 3 to 13 megapascal was achieved. Procedure involved application of an etchant, primer, and adhesive resin. Disadvantages: incomplete penetration and bonding due to the presence of the smear plugs. This picture denotes the introduction of the third generation bonding agents, which involved alteration or the removal of the smear layer by conditioning and priming before bonding. Fourth generation adhesives. In earlier generation, adhesives used were hydrophobic in nature and the presence of water on dentin surface was found to be inappropriate. If the dentin surface is dried with air, the collagen undergoes immediate collapse and prevents resin monomers from penetration. Hence, Kanaka and Nagabayashi in 1992 introduced wet bonding concept. The bond strength achieved was 13 to 18 megapascal. Use of adhesive systems on moist dentin is done by the incorporation of the organic solvents such as acetone or ethanol in the primers or adhesives. Wet bonding technique is carried out with a glistening hydrated dentin surface. Because the solvent displaces water from the dentin surface and moist collagen network, it promotes the infiltration of the resin monomer. Cooled moisture should not remain on the tooth because excess water can dilute the primer and render it less effective. That is called as overwetting phenomenon. Wet bonding also has been shown to improve significantly the marginal seal of the restoration in which an acetone-based primer is used. Coming to the fifth generation adhesives, developments are directed at simplification of the bonding procedure. This development combines the primer and the bonding agent application as one step, but a separate etching step is still needed for majority of the adhesive systems. Bond strength achieved was 3 to 75 megapascals. Examples are Prime and Bond NT Optibond Soloplus. Coming to the sixth generation dental adhesive, the sixth generation adhesive contains a phosphonated resin molecules that function simultaneously, causing both etching and priming of dentin and enamel. Hence, the mechanism of action is simultaneous etching and priming of enamel and dentin without rinsing, thereby forming a continuum in the substrate and incorporating the smear plugs into the resin tags. Disadvantages: the elimination of rinsing and drying steps reduces the possibility of overwetting or overdrying, which can have a negative influence in adhesion. This picture denotes the application of sixth generation dentin adhesives where the primer is combined with an etchant. The smear layer is not removed in this type of an adhesive. Hence, a smear layer is found to be incorporated into the hybrid layer. Advantages of sixth generation: it is user friendly, less technique sensitive. Self-etching primers less likely to result in discrepancy between the depth of demineralization and the depth of resin infiltration because self-etching primers demineralize and infiltrate dentin simultaneously. The disadvantages involves not effective etchant as phosphoric acid, particularly if the enamel has not been instrumented. Seal of enamel margins in vivo can be compromised. Seventh generation dentin adhesive. In this, all the steps are incorporated into one, where etching, priming, and bonding property are combined into one solution. Disadvantage: it behaves as a semi-permeable membranes, resulting in hydraulic degradation of the resin-dentin interface. Example of 7th generation dentin adhesive: Adper, Prompt, L-Pop, Brush and Bond, I-Bond, 1-Up Bond F, and Xeno 3. This picture describes the etch and rinse system and the self-etch system, and also it differentiates the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh generation. In fourth generation, all the components are used individually. For example, acid denotes the etchant, primer to increase the wettability, adhesive resin. In fourth generation, the wet bonding concept was introduced where the dentin was not left dry, whereas the dentin with the wetting concept was introduced. In fifth generation, primer was combined with an adhesive, which enables a better flow of an adhesive. In sixth generation, the self-etch system is carried out, where the primer is combined with an acid and an adhesive is left alone. In seventh generation, all the steps are combined into one step, where the adhesive, acid, and primer are combined into one solution, which is called as a one-step process. In both fifth and sixth generation, two-step approach is carried out. GAC exhibits an ionic bonding with the tooth structure. To exhibit an ionic bonding, mild self-etch systems with a pH of 2 causes superficial demineralization, keeping the residual hydroxyapatite still attached to collagen to enable ionic bonding. The thickness of hybrid layer is much smaller than that produced by the strong etch and rinse approach. The preservation of hydroxyapatite within the minimal thickness of hybrid layer may serve as a receptor for additional chemical bonding. This picture explains the difference between the strong self-etch adhesive and a mild self-etch adhesive. When used a strong self-etch adhesive, it causes complete opening of the dentinal tubules for the flow of an adhesive, whereas this partially occludes the dentinal tubules and it causes very less interactions with the collagen fibers, where the most of the dentinal tubules remains occluded. In case of GIC, only mild etchant is used. In case of composite, strong etchants are used. Coming to the ceramic bonding, bonding resin to ceramic surfaces for porcelain or ceramic is based on the combined effects of micromechanical and chemical bonding. Acid etching with 2.5 to 10% of hydrofluoric acid for 2 to 3 seconds seems to be successful in creating a surface roughness, removal of glassy matrix, and thereby exposes the crystalline structures. Adhesive resin flows into the irregularities, interlocks to form micromechanical bond. Number, size, and distribution of lucite crystals influence the formations of microporosities during acid etching. Resin metal bond. The resin composite bond to metal substrate by mechanical or chemical means. Mechanical in the sense metal mesh, pitted metal surface. Micromechanical is by means of sandblasting and etching technique. For effective bonding, surface conditioning of metal is needed. Silica abrasive particles of 15 microns are used to roughen the metal surface by means of forceful ejection in the name of tribochemical treatment, followed by silane application, which was found to be effective. Coming to the clinical uses of dentin bonding agents, in case of direct restorative materials, bonding agents are used to correct the fractured incisal edges where a composite material can be used for the correction by the application of bonding agent. Restoration of the cervical erosion without the need for drilling and anesthesia, where a conditioner can be used and GIC can be placed in the cervical erosion cases, or in case of permanent tooth, or in case of young patient, even a composite can be used as a restorative material. Restoration of a caries lesion in enamel or dentin with minimal cavity preparation can be done. To close the diastema for the aesthetic correction, minimally invasive technique, where the enamel is grinded to increase the surface area, bonding agent is applied, and a composite aesthetic restorative material is used to close the diastema. A Spitz and Fisher sealants for placement of the porcelain veneers, inlays, onlays, and crowns. For splinting of teeth to prevent the hypersensitivity and also protect it from caries attack. Hypersensitivity is prevented when the adhesive flows into the dentinal tubules and seals the opened dentinal tubules to prevent the flow of the dentinal fluid. For bonding of amalgam restorations, reattachment of the fractured tooth fragments. For direct bonding to orthodontic brackets, for aesthetic restoration of tetracycline stains, fluorosis, and hypoplasia of enamel. Example, amelogenesis imperfecta. For retaining orthodontically straightened or torqued tooth in place. Disadvantages of bonding involves highly technique sensitive. Instruments to be used should be free of contamination to avoid poor bonding. It's a very time-consuming procedure. Durability of bonding is doubtful. Shelf life is limited, and storage conditions have to be followed critically. Thank you.